Hello, dear friends. In the fourth lecture of the Erasmus Ecclesiastical Law of spring semester, I will continue to explain Article 3 of the Greek Constitution, and especially its second verset, which it reads, "The Orthodox Church of Greece, acknowledging our Lord Jesus Christ as its head, is inseparably united in doctrine with the great Church of Christ in Constantinople and with every other Church of Christ of the same doctrine, observing unwaveringly as they do the holy apostolic and synodal canons and sacred traditions." According to the first verset of the first paragraph of the Article 3, the prevailing religion in Greece is the Orthodox Church in Greece. Eastern Orthodox Church of Christ. Not the Orthodox Church of Greece, but the Orthodox Church in Greece. Because in Greek territory, for historical reasons, there is not only one Orthodox autocephalous church which has jurisdiction, ecclesiastical jurisdiction in it, but there are two autocephalous Orthodox churches having jurisdiction in it. First, the so-called Orthodox Church of Greece, and second, the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople. The Orthodox Church of Greece is composed of two groups of dioceses, which are called metropolises. The first group of metropolises or dioceses is that of the so-called autocephal Orthodox Church of Greece. The second group of metropolises or dioceses is that of the northern Greece, which are called new lands, from the period in which they have been liberated by the foreign occupation. The northern part of Greece, from Melassona to Peloponnese, Tenaron of Peloponnese, is in general the territory of the autocephal Orthodox Church of Greece. Autocephal Orthodox Church of Greece has acquired canonically, that is, from the competent ecclesiastical authority, which is the Ecumenical Patriarch and the Synod of the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople, the status of an autocephalous church. Then, in the following, some other parts which have been liberated from the foreign occupation has been added to this autocephalous Church of Greece by subsequent patriarchal and synodical acts. The first instrument which has accorded the status of an autocephalous church to the autocephalous Church of Greece is that of the patriarchal and synodical Tomos of 1850. But when the northern Greece has been liberated from the foreign occupation in the beginning of the 20th century, then the Ecumenical Patriarchate, that is, the Ecumenical Patriarch and the Synod of the Ecumenical Patriarchate have promulgated a patriarchal and synodical act through which this part of the northern Greece has not been accorded to the autocephalous Orthodox Church of Greece by the Ecumenical Patriarchate, but between the Ecumenical Patriarchate and the Greek government, there was an agreement for the establishment of a new organization called Church of Greece, in which not only the autocephalous Church of Greece, but also the metropolises of the northern Greece, that is, the metropolises of new lands, have been incorporated. So this then new organization has been composed of two groups of metropolises. The metropolises of the autocephalous Church of Greece and the metropolises of the new lands, that is, of the northern Greece. According to this agreement of 1928, after which the Patriarchal and Synodical Act of the same year has been promulgated, the administration of the patriarchal metropolises of northern Greece has not been reserved to the ecumenical patriarchate, but it has been transferred provisionally, only provisionally, to this new organization, Church of Greece. This new organization, Church of Greece, has as its primate the Archbishop of Athens, in practice. But according to the Patriarchal and Synodical Tomos of 1950, there was not an individual primate for the Autocephal Church of Greece, the then Autocephal Church of Greece, but the primate was a collective one, the Holy Synod. The canonical status has not been changed as concerns the primate. But in practice, the Archbishop of Athens vindicated to be, claimed to be the primate of the new organization, Church of Greece. The Archbishop of Athens is the president of two synods. The first synod is the Synod of Hierarchy, and the second synod, the Permanent Synod. The Synod of Hierarchy is the supreme administrative body which administers the organization of the Church of Greece. In the Synod of Hierarchy, all the bishops of all the metropolises participate, that is, all the bishops of the Autocephal Church of Greece and all the bishops of the patriarchal metropolises of northern Greece, that is, the metropolises of the so-called New Lands. In the second small synod, which is called Permanent Synod, the Archbishop of Athens is the president also. And it's composed of two groups of bishops. 6 bishops from the first group, that is, from the group of bishops of the Autocephal Church of Greece, and another 6 bishops from the second group, that is the group of the bishops of the patriarchal metropolises of northern Greece or the metropolises of new lands. The 6 and 6 bishops are received from two separate lists of bishops, respectively, for a synodical period which is an annual one. What I have explained until now, it is reflected also in the third verset of the first paragraph of the Article 3 of the Greek Constitution. But before passing to this third verset, I have to explain some other points of the second verset of the same paragraph. The Orthodox Church of Greece, in the meaning I have given already, acknowledging our Lord Jesus Christ as its head, as the other local autocephalous Orthodox churches, the Orthodox Church of Greece has as its head Lord Jesus Christ. This is a difference between the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church. In the Orthodox Church, its head is Lord, our Lord Jesus Christ. In the Catholic Church, the head is the Pope, who is the representative of our Lord Jesus Christ on the earth. The Orthodox Church of Greece is inseparably united in doctrine with the great Church of Christ in Constantinople and with every other Church of Christ of the same doctrine. There are 14 autocephal Orthodox churches, according to the diptycha, that is the list of the autocephal Orthodox churches kept in the Ecumenical Patriarchate and in the majority of the autocephal Orthodox churches which follow the Ecumenical Patriarchate, which is the first patriarchate, the first autocephal church, and which has a role of coordination of all the Orthodox churches, and also another role of pastoral aid to another autocephal Orthodox church, which cannot be administered by itself for different historical or political reasons. But according to the list of autocephalous Orthodox churches kept by the Patriarchate for Asia, the number of the Orthodox autocephal churches is not 14, but 15. Because the Moscow Patriarchate recognizes another 15th Orthodox autocephal church, and with Moscow Patriarchate, a minority of Orthodox autocephal churches, but the Ecumenical Patriarchate and the majority of the Orthodox autocephal churches do not recognize that church as an autocephal one. This church is the so-called Metropolia, that is, the Orthodox Church of America, which has Russian a Russian establishment in the United States. During the communist regime, it was an autonomous church in practice, but in 1970, the Patriarch of Moscow and the Synod of the Moscow Patriarchate has accorded the status of an autocephal church to that Metropolia, to that Orthodox Church of America. But this status has not been recognized, as I said already, by the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople and by the majority of the autocephal Orthodox churches following the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople, because there are not common canons, there are not common dispositions accepted by all the Orthodox autocephal churches as it concerns the authority which confers the status of an autocephal church, of an autonomous church, or a semi-autonomous church. So the Orthodox Church of Greece is inseparably united in doctrine and in worship with the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople and with all the Orthodox autocephal churches, and also with the Orthodox Church of America, but except the status of an autocephal church accorded by the Moscow Patriarchate. All the Orthodox autocephal churches have the same doctrine and the same worship, and also the same policy, ecclesiastical policy, that is, the same basic, fundamental organization and administration. this fundamental organization administration or fundamental policy is given in other words by the Greek Council of State, that is by the Supreme Administrative Court of Greece, as basic institutions, fundamental institutions, existing firmly and for a long period in the frame of all the Orthodox Autocephal churches. As it concerns the non-basic or non-fundamental institutions, the Autocephal Orthodox churches can provide a variety of regulations through their statutes. All the Orthodox Autocephal churches have the same internal law, which is recognized in the same second verset of the first paragraph of the Article 3. Which says that observing all the Church of Orthodox Church of Greece as the other Orthodox Autocephal churches, unwaveringly, as they do, the Holy Apostolic and Synodal canons and sacred traditions. As it is known, in the Orthodox Autocephal churches, there are two sources of divine revelation, that is, the Holy Bible and the sacred traditions. Holy Apostolic and Synodal canons constitute a part of the sacred tradition. Holy Apostolic and Synodal canons constitute the common internal law, the common canon law of all the Orthodox Autocephal churches, including the Church of Greece. But as it concerns their non-basic or non-fundamental institutions, the Orthodox Autocephal churches have their internal statutes voted by them, because all the Orthodox Autocephal churches belong to the system of separation between church and state. Except the case of the Orthodox Church of Greece and the Orthodox Church of Crete. Orthodox Church of Greece is considered incorrectly as autocephalous, because autocephalous is only one part of it, and the Orthodox Church of Crete is a semi-autonomous church under the supervision of another autocephal church, that is the Autocephal Church of the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople. The fact that an autocephal church, except the case in Greece, can see its statutes regulated by a law of a state, in this case, as for example in the Patriarchate of Jerusalem, this case does not change the things that is the autocephal Orthodox Church is found in a system of separation between church and state, and for the benefit of that autocephal Orthodox Church, there is an individual law regulating its internal affairs, for its benefit. Now the time is over of the fourth lecture. Thank you for your attention.